winner here. Wow, she's uninterested. Book, I'm just flagging inattention, which is kind of a stupid name. Hell, at points I didn't even want to read. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and this is the Astral Library. And I have a bit of a chill vlog for you today. So we're going to be doing a 24-hour reading vlog. So it's the day after 4th of July and I'm white. I have zero plans today. I have zero plans to interact with anyone at all. I thought, what better time to use this than to actually sit down and read some books? So that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to spend the entire day just reading some books. Now I have a couple books I need to finish, or rather one that I need to finish and one I have to finish. The first book that I need to finish is Black No More by George Schuster. So this is one of my books I'm reading for my dissertation. As you can see, I'm kind of mostly done. I have about 70 more pages. It's not that long of a book. And what's taking me so long is that I'm marking it up so you can see my tabs and annotations just kind of dotted throughout. So I'm trying to read this very thoughtfully, which means it's taking me a bit of a slow time. So we're probably gonna start with this so I can get it up and out of the way and just be ready to go. But once I finish this book, I want to then finish Fire Touched by Patricia Briggs, which is the 9th book in the Mercy Thompson series. So I've been rereading the Mercy Thompson series and this is the last book I've ever left off on. So I haven't made it past this book and I'm excited to finally knock it out and continue on with the series, especially because the next book is vampires. So I'm gonna do these two books first, and when I finish, we'll have to see what time it is, what's going on. I'm not gonna push myself to read every single waking hour or stay up a million hours late. I'm gonna stay up late tonight. I think roughly maybe like 3 in the morning, but maybe more like 1 or 2 depending. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take you along with me, and this is just gonna be a fun little sweet and chill vlog. So grab a drink, grab some food, and let's go ahead and read together. All right, it is about 1:50 and I've officially finished my first book. Now, you might be like, Emily, you started this in the morning. Why is it almost 2 when you're finishing your first book? To which I say, shush. I ended up like eating lunch before this, or rather breakfast, and I decided I was gonna watch Encanto, and so I did, and I got started a lot later than I thought I was going to. But I finished my first book, so really, we're still a winner here. Like I said, the first book I was reading was Black No More, which I realized I never actually told you about. So this book is following so many characters. Like, so many characters I couldn't even tell you who the main quote-unquote character is. But it's set in the 1930s where essentially a black doctor creates a method of using vitiligo to essentially turn black people into white people in all appearances, rather than vitiligo is just like the pigment in a skin. The process that he is able to create completely makes black people indistinguishable from white people. And so this book is kind of following like what happens to society when that becomes true, when black people essentially are erased and now become folded into whiteness. It was very interesting and it's given me a lot to think about in terms of my dissertation, but it's a weird book. So if you're new here, I don't rate books I read for school just because I use them in a different way, but I do count them in terms of my yearly reading goal. So this is my 62nd book of the year, and what a weird one, I have to say. It was interesting, like look at all my tabs I have here. Like I had thoughts that I can't necessarily articulate at this moment in time. I should probably write a summary for myself somewhere, but I will do that later. So I think the next book I'm going to pick up is Mercy Thompson, which I actually have just behind you. I'll explain this one to you now so you're not confused before I start it. So this is part of the Mercy Thompson series, which is a paranormal romance series that we're following Mercy, who is a coyote shifter. And she just kind of gets embroiled in all sorts of supernatural shenanigans because her husband is the alpha of the werewolf pack in town. One of her really good friends is a vampire, and she's mixed in with the fae. So Mercy just kind of has her fingers in every pot, and she is a troublemaker. So she's just constantly finding herself in more and more situations. If someone asks for help, she can't turn them down, and so that gets her into a lot more situations. In this particular book, Mercy is declaring her city or her area under her protection and the pack's protection, and she has offered sanctuary to this boy who is lost in the Underhill, or this like magical fairyland, and the fae are hunting him down to essentially torture him, and it is implied that they're going to kill him, and Mercy does not want that to happen, and so she offers him sanctuary. But in doing so, she's kind of made herself an enemy, not only in the fae, but as well with the werewolves. So we're following as whatever's gonna happen with that situation. Oh, my AC just kicked on. Sorry if you can hear it. It's hot as hell. I'm not turning it off. So yeah, I'm 133 pages into this. They're not long books. They're usually quick reads. So I will probably start this one in the next couple minutes. I think I need to get up and like walk around just because I was laying in a lot of various positions on my sofa and it kind of sucked and kind of hurts my back. So I'm gonna do a little walk and then I'll come back and we'll read this book. Hello, my AC is still on and I'm still not turning it off, but I have made progress in Fire Touched. I am now on page 190 and I'm still enjoying this book. I'm just flagging inattention. Like as I was reading it, I found myself kind of like rereading like the same paragraphs over and over again because they just weren't sticking in my mind, which tells me I need to put books down for a bit. So I think I'm going to switch to reading some manhwa or webtoons because that I think will just be a little more digestible to read because it's a lot of pictures and it's a lot of fun. I would try to switch to an audiobook and like do some gaming, but my office is currently filled with stuff, like so many things that I hid away for 4th of July because I had family coming over and I don't feel like unearthing my desk right now, so I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I think I'm gonna take you into my room and we're gonna read some webtoons on my laptop as I lay down on my bed and possibly take a nap because I have a feeling if I lay down I'm going to fall asleep, which will be good. It'll be fine. I'll need the little extra rest if I'm gonna stay up late tonight. I'm gonna go do that and I will catch you in the next update. Hello, it is, what is it? It's 6:36 and I just read 30 chapters of a new webtoon. It's called Baby Prisoner of the Winter Castle, which is kind of a stupid name. It was so cute though. It was such a cute story because we're following this illegitimate princess who was not treated very well by her family. And I guess the neighboring kingdom comes in and just like wipes the entire royal family, right? And she is about to be killed, but the person doing the execution stops because they have a rule in their kingdom where they're not allowed to execute anyone under the age of 18. And I don't know what age she is. I think she's younger than 12, but I don't know like by how much. Let's say like maybe 8 or 10, right? She's pretty tiny. And so essentially she's been extended another 8 years of her life, right? And so she's now a prisoner of this new kingdom. The emperor or the king of the kingdom she's currently a prisoner of is like, okay, she's only allowed to live until she's 18. The moment she turns 18, off with her head, and the duke who's in charge of like, I guess like the executions and like the army, he is told that he has to bring her head to the king on her 18th birthday. So now we have a ticking clock. But the thing is, this girl's so cute and so little, and everyone's just like, you can't take her because you're just gonna fall in love with her. She's gonna be adorable and you're not gonna want to kill her. And the duke is like, nah, I'm gonna kill her. It's gonna be fine. I know you know how that's going. It's cute, it's fun, and what I really like about this, because there's always some sort of like magical fantasy element to these, but for this one, we have like golem magic where she like can give life to and create golems, which is something I haven't seen before in like a manhwa webtoon like this before. So I am really interested in seeing how this goes. I finished all of the chapters that are out right now, so I definitely think I'm gonna go try to find the light novel that it was adapted from, because apparently it does have a novel and I'm kind of hooked on that story right now. So I think I'm gonna try to find that on my computer and maybe read a few more chapters of that. I do have to feed my dogs in like half hour, 20 minutes, which means I should probably feed myself around the same time. This was a really good change of pace for me. I needed it. I ended up not taking a nap because I just got so caught up in the story, but I feel rejuvenated. So I definitely think I'm going to continue reading this story, and I think I'm gonna go read on the couch because it's a little hot. I will catch you when I have another update. Wait. Good girl. Hello, it is 10:18. I'm still going strong. I'm not as tired as I thought I was gonna be, but I did finish my second book, I guess, because I read the webtoon. Don't know how long that took me or like how much that like counted as a book per se, but I finished that. So this is the third thing I finished. I can't tell you too much what's going on in this book because it is book 9 in a series, but I will say I can see why this book killed my original steam when I was reading the series, because it was very slow in comparison to everything else. That just tends to be how it goes with the fae stories in these books. I either find them really compelling, really interesting, or I find myself bored half the time. And this is a story that focuses more on the fae characters and the fae problems, and I was just like not having it. I will say there's new characters in this one that I really was interested in, and I'm really excited to see more of in the upcoming book. And I'm interested in learning more about the Underhill and kind of like the persona of the Underhill, which we got introduced in this book. But overall, it was just okay. So I think I'm gonna settle on giving this a 3-star just because there's moments I had fun and I was laughing, but overall this book was just kind of slow and not my favorite of the series, but also not my least favorite. So I'm glad to be done with it. I'm glad to be one step closer into catching up to this series because it's been a long time coming, and I'm very excited because the next book in that series is about vampires, and I'm so excited. I think we're dealing with Wolf in that one. If not, he's gonna be in the not the next 2 books, but the book after that. One of these vampire stories are dealing with Wolf, who's like the creepiest wizard vampire character that I adore. He's psychotic, but he's so fascinating. So I think he is in either the next book or the third book from the next book. So I'm excited. I know the next book's vampires though, so I remember reading the synopsis and be like, I want to read this. I want to pick this up now. I'm not going to pick it up this exact moment because I do actually read one more book and I don't have that book. Let me go grab it. So the next book I actually need to read is Heir of Fire, which is the third book in the Throne of Glass series. So I've read the Throne of Glass series before. This is my favorite Sarah J Maas series, period. The reason why I need to actually read this book is because my friend is reading Throne of Glass for the first time, and she is currently in the middle of the audiobook for the novella series. And so she's about to start this book. And we were talking about it, and as she's been like regaling me her experience with these stories and like telling me what's going on, I'm like, I vaguely remember what's going on in this series and like I know the larger pictures, but like the finer details she gets foggy on because she's listening to the audiobook and her attention span doesn't always let her like get all the like complexities of it. And because it's been so long since I've read the series that I don't remember all the little complexities. So one thing I was saying is like, you know what, when you start book 3, I will go ahead and pick up the book and I can explain to you more of those like intricate details that she may have like glossed over. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read this one, which will be very interesting because I haven't reread the first, I guess technically 3, but because I've been listening to her, I feel like I know the story well enough to just jump into this one. And besides, this is enough of a turning point that I don't necessarily have to reread the first 2. But what's really, really interesting for this is that it took me a while to get into this book the first time I read it. In the subsequent rereads, which I think I tend to skip this one more than the others, is that I did not read through Manon and the 13 very closely because I'm not a big POV person and I just wanted to stick with Aylin's story. And so like every time Manon and the 13 came up, I was just uninterested. So I'm really gonna go back and read through Manon's parts carefully and like actually get the story in a more like concrete way because I just kind of skipped over them. Whoops. I didn't find them interesting. Hopefully I'll find them more interesting this time around, especially because I might have to explain what's going on to someone else. So yes, I think I'm gonna pick this up for the rest of this evening. I am gonna still try to stay up late, so probably see how I'm feeling at like 1 or 2 because I do gotta get up early tomorrow because I'm working on the bathroom with my dad. We need to like pick up our speed because he's getting busy at work and we just want it done. So we're gonna be working on that this entire weekend, I think. So both Saturday and Sunday. So I can't stay up stupid late because then I will shoot myself in the foot. And I also gotta go to the library before he comes by because my hold is there and I want to pick that up before it gets put back. Even though I have until the 14th and it's only the 5th. So I have time. But I want to get the book and I want to read the book, which I don't know why I'm being vague about it. It's When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. I think that's her name. The person who wrote the Divergent series. I don't know. I don't remember who was reading it. Maybe Reagan at the Peruse Project or someone was reading it. It's a short book and it looks kind of like spooky vibey. And I'm into that. And I'm interested in seeing if I like Veronica Roth's writing because I believe it's adult fantasy. And I didn't like Divergent when I read it, but that was eons ago and her YA. So I'm wondering if she's improved it all since. And I have her Poster Girl one. I got it in Fairy. I don't know if it's Poster Girl. Oh, it is Poster Girl. Oh, I didn't remember. So I have Poster Girl and I haven't read that. So I figured this would be like a fun, interesting thing to see if I like it and if I'm going to enjoy it. Because if I will, I have Poster Girl and just pick up right next. And that's kind of a different vibe too. That's the plan. I'm gonna start this. I think I'm gonna get myself another drink though. Because I'm thirsty and it's still kind of hot in this house, even though again, 10 o'clock at night. But I'm not gonna open the doors because if bugs get in the house, I'm going to scream. And no one wants that. I will catch you when I have another update. Okay, it is 2 in the morning basically. I think it's 1:55. I'm going to bed. I made it about 200 pages into air fryer. So I did pretty good. Not the best, but I'm exhausted. I have a bathroom to renovate tomorrow. So I will catch you later to wrap this vlog out. Until then. Hey! Editor Emily here to close out this vlog because your girl definitely did not get to sit down and actually record a proper ending to this. So I wanted to come and say thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed seeing like what a really realistic reading vlog looks like for just like an average person, especially someone with low energy, because let me tell you, after 4th of July, I was wiped. I didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to see nobody. I didn't want to do nothing. Hell, at points I didn't even want to read, but I still got some reading done. I ended up finishing the 2 books that I told you. So I finished Black No More and I finished Fire Touch by Patricia Briggs. So those 2 were done and dusted, which is good. I did start a 3rd book, which was The Heir of Fire, and I believe in the last clip I updated you, I said I got to page 200. I have not read more of it yet. It is currently Monday, so we're coming at you later. I do have my hair now done. You can see I have like a magenta color in. Happy to have my braids back. And I did read a webtoon, so that was all great. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, consider leaving a thumbs up and a comment down below. Let me know, what does your realistic reading days look like? Do you have moments where you're like, I don't want to read anything, actually, I just want to sit down and watch a movie instead of reading? Like, that's relatable. That's totally me. Or are you a person like, I sit down and I read all day, do nothing but reading, which props to you. Some days I could do that. Other days, like this vlog, I just can't. Still, let me know in the comments down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!